The Joe Rogan Experience.
The thing is, doctors have a limited amount of tools. If you want to prescribe medication to somebody, whatever the common practice is what that doctor has to adhere.
Welcome to Pegasus versus the World, where we take on challenges, comedy, trending topics, and some travel. City boy, city boy. This brings me back to Joe Rogan's podcast, you guys. Reason I'm here is because of this title. It says, "What is wrong with the bread in America?" And from recording this video, I think I've been home 3 days from Belgium. And just seeing that question, I absolutely need this question answered. And I hope it happens within this video clip. Because in Europe, the bread tastes different. Straight up, the quality and then the reaction my body has to it, it's just different. So I don't understand what is going on with American food. And we all know there's problems with American food. I'm prideful in the sense of, without trying to commit, what is it, the sixth, seventh sin or whatever. But I'm not ashamed of being American. I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to be from here, with all do whatever without, because pride is one of the deadly sins. So I'm like, oh, should I even say that? Damn. Anyways, I love America. I love a lot about America. But as I keep traveling the world, starting to see more and more problematic things that I'm just like, yikes. And the biggest issue is the obesity level in America and the food. All the chemicals and stuff. So let's see what they're talking about. Check out Joe Rogan's podcast. If you rock with me, like, share, comment, subscribe. If you didn't know, I'm Black Pegasus. Link in the description to some of my other channels. I have a very popular music reaction channel. Just hit 500,000 subscribers. So if you want to check that out, awesome. But let's see where this conversation goes and if we get some answers on what's wrong with the bread in America.
Whatever the common practice is what that doctor has to adhere to. They can't step out of line. And the reality is a lot of that stuff has side effects, but there's natural ways that you could deal with inflammation, like curcumin, turmeric. There's a lot of different, that stuff. That helps a lot. That's legit, and it's not bad for you. But a lot of inflammation comes from diet. A lot of it, a big factor. Like I remember I talked to this lady who was a physical therapist, and I had a neck issue, and she was like, you'd kind of be amazed if you cut out all the inflammatory foods of your diet, how much it would affect it. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, I mean, you probably do have a neck injury, but I guarantee it's exacerbated by the foods you're eating. She said, cut out bread, cut out sugar, and see if it has an effect.
I've tried to, because I fattened up and I know it. Like I put weight on, and again, for me, it was a dopamine thing. I'm not doing the things I used to do.
Right, so you need something to do that's just like, give me a sandwich.
Something.
Yeah.
What am I going to do on the road? I'll have a pretzel.
Right.
That's my bane of my existence, a fucking pretzel. Like, it really is. It's not like I'm eating pizza. I'm not eating cake.
All that shit is terrible.
Sourdough pretzels. I can't.
All that shit. So our bread is fucked. And our bread is so fucked. If you go, and I'm sure you've been overseas, you go eat bread in Italy, you don't feel bad at all.
No, it's not.
Bruh. This is exactly why I watched this video. So he gets it. He knows. I was just in Belgium, and with every meal, like I got this thing called stouflés. It's like a beef stew, and I would dip the bread in because it's like a beef with gravy, and it was so good. And I was like, why don't I feel all bloated? And this was mind blowing, you guys. I eat healthy in America. All organic, grass-fed, beef tallow. We fry stuff in beef tallow and extra virgin olive oil. I eat healthy in America. On the weekends is my time where I do cheat meals, right? But I eat healthy in America. But throughout the week, I'll have like a little bit of acid indigestion or like bubble guts, just little things. And I don't know if it's coming from the food or the supplements. But when I couldn't take, all of my supplements to Europe. But when I was there, I had no gut issues at all. And I was eating like, what's funny is the fries in Belgium, sometimes fried food and dairy in America give me issues. So I try to stay away from it because it's just like, damn, I don't want to feel like But out there, it didn't give me issues. And that's why I'm clicking on this, because I'm like, man, I got to get to the bottom of this, because that it's wild. It is really wild what they're putting in the food source in America for it to be such a big, a country with all this wealth, and they give us this cheapest food is insanity. Also, I found out most of Europe doesn't have fluoride in their water. I don't know what that means, you guys, but go look it up on ChatGPT, Google, whatever. Majority of Europe doesn't have fluoride in the water.
Not as bad.
We're fucking poison. I'll play this thing because Brian Simpson sent me this, and it's very good. Hold on a second. Here, let me see. Show you right here. No. I'll put it up on the screen. I'm going to find it. Here it is. It won't matter if there's World War III, but if there's not World War III, probably stay away from bread. American bread. You mean eat sourdough bread. Sourdough bread's fucking great for you. But play this from the beginning so we could... This guy's going to explain what's wrong with American bread.
Explain to me why I can eat bread in Spain and in Greece, Italy, no problem. Why I was gluten-free in 15 years. I've been gluten-free in Canada, America. Can't eat it.
That's because in America, what we call bread can't even be considered food in parts of Europe. See, here in America, it's not so much the gluten as what we've done to the grain. About 200 years ago, we started stripping the bran and germ, or the fiber and nutrients, to make flour shelf stable, also nutritionally dead. Because the nutrients were gone, we enriched it with folic acid, which a large majority of the population can't even metabolize, therefore many people experience fatigue, anxiety, hyperactivity, and inflammation. But then the bread wasn't white enough, so they bleached it with chlorine gas, and the bread didn't rise enough, so they added a carcinogen called potassium bromate, which is banned in several countries like Europe, the UK, and even China. Then we wanted to ramp up production, so we started using glyphosate to dry out the wheat before harvest, causing endocrine disruption and damaging your gut. So now you're bloated, brain fogged, tired, and blame gluten, but gluten is just the scapegoat. The real issue is ultra-processed, chemically altered, bleached, bromated, fake vitamin-filled wheat soaked in glyphosate. This isn't bread. This is.
Who is that dude? What's his name? Danny Durer?
I knew what was going on at some capacity, but he broke it down. Now I gotta go deep dive, because you never want to just take something from a random person on the internet and call it gospel. But what he was saying made a lot of sense, and I've heard about that. The folic acid thing and the potassium bromate, whatever. I've heard of these things. But you look at it and you're like, oh man. I'm actually, after this, I'm going to go upstairs and talk to my wife, because my daughter has to be on an anti-inflammatory diet because she has autoimmune issues. And I'm going to tell you guys, man, she got croup, which kids get. Kids get croup, RSV. Most kids just get through it. But my daughter, her breathing started getting crazy. So we had to go to the ER. And it's like, it's really whack that I have to think like this in this sense. But the ER visit, because we don't have access to, governmental, like Medicaids and stuff like that. So my insurance, I have insurance. Long story short, it costs $5,000 just to go to the ER. She gets checked out. They do lung x-rays. They prescribe her steroid, I think for like 2 days. Just, basic stuff. $5,000, you guys. My insurance company covered $2,500. I owe $2,500 to just a quick ER visit because obvious her pediatrician, it was on the weekend, of course. So typically pediatrician, we can get them in there if it's an emergency, no big deal. Not this crazy charge, $10, $5 copay, whatever. We pay for the steroid. No big deal. $2,500, you guys. So the only way to survive America and its medical system is preventative measures. Try to be as healthy as possible so you can dodge the, autoimmune issues, the cancers, the this, that, and the other. So, oh man, this is wild. Click on
his, so we could give that guy some props. Dennis Eckelbarger. Denny DNNY _DURE on Twitter and Instagram.
Do you know, I will never, as I'm watching him do that, I will never be able to do anything into camera as well as he just described how shitty bread is. Like I was watching him doing, like he's getting all the words proper and he's giving the information. He's not blinking. He's not twitching. He's not annoying. He's not annoying. Yeah. He's just giving it to you. Perfect delivery.
But that should be something that everybody should see. When I know that when I cut that stuff out of my diet, it makes a giant difference. Also, I should say Joe DeRosa, who has this amazing sub shop in New York, and he's going to open up one out here in Austin.
Oh, nice.
Joey Rose's. Fantastic sub shop. Their wheat is all flown from Italy. It's all like natural wheat. Yeah. And so their bread doesn't fuck with you. And they make it fresh every day and they throw it out at the end of the day. You never have day old bread. It's always fresh and they bake it there. So it's like when he's getting bread for his sandwiches, it's the kind of bread that you get in Europe.
Do you know, I think, I have to think you're right, because there was one time we had DeRosa on the show, it was the morning show, and he didn't bring us any sandwiches. I'm like, where's the fucking sandwiches, Joe? How about a sandwich?
He couldn't.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck him, because then he did chip and he brought in sandwiches, but we taped in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he was telling the truth.
DeRosa
was telling the truth about his bread.
Yeah, when they had a pop-up out here at South by Southwest, and he brought over sandwiches. They were fantastic. They're very good.
Unbelievably good.
That is my number one. If I have a vice, it is Italian food. My big vice is Italian sandwiches, Italian subs, pasta, lasagna. That stuff gets me. I fucking love it. But you have to get it from a place that's using like heirloom wheat. And you can find places.
Right.
There's a lot of great restaurants in New York. There's great restaurants in LA that use heirloom wheat. And you'll eat their pasta and you don't feel bad. Most of the bread that you're getting in America is like what that guy described. And that's why you feel like shit when you eat it.
Holy smokes. I mean, I knew it, but like adding a face to it, I'm going to look it up a little bit more in depth. But, it's important for me personally because I do, like, you go to, let's say, In-N-Out Burger, eat an In-N-Out Burger. You feel like afterwards, straight up. But if I just ate the patty, like, you could get the lettuce wrap ones. I do not feel like bread in America makes you feel crazy, yo. And it F's up with my stomach, too. I'll get acid indigestion and bubble guts a lot of times. But it's, like, comforting. Like, there's something about that bread. But, oh, man, this kind of got me thinking different. Anyways, that was great. That's what I needed. Another reminder to stay on track. And you guys let me know, especially because I know I got a good amount of people from Europe tapping in from time to time. And someone said that in my Europe versus America reaction. And I thought I had mentioned that because I know for a fact. I already knew bread because I learned this because we cruise. We go on cruises. And sometimes when you go into European waters or certain things, or there's Europeans on the boat, since certain things are illegal in Europe, they'll stick with the European standards on some of these cruises. And you can taste the difference in the food. And that was the first time I was like, yo, what is going on? And then I just started looking into it. I was like, oh, I see. Anyways, you guys let me know what I got, what I missed. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.
City boy!